Good morning, folks. I want to talk to you this morning about Trello, and this is just going to be a short little lesson. It's going to show you how to sell it, a couple of different ways you can use Trello to manage your products, your projects, whatever you want to do here at the depot. It's a way that you can make to-do lists. It's a way that you can just manage your workflow. Okay, that's what we call it. So first thing you want to do is go to Trello.com. Trello.com, and if you haven't already, you're going to just sign up for an account and use your school Gmail account address for this, please. Okay? What you're going to see is you're going to see a once you sign up, you can skip the part about starting a team. You don't need to do that right now. Just say skip this step, and then you're going to see this up here. It's going to say personal boards. It's going to have a little welcome board. You can click on there. It'll give you some more information about how Trello works. But here's the quick guide to getting started. Okay, there's two ways, and I think I'll show you the way that I prefer, and then I'll show you another way that you can do it. And of course, you can use Trello any way you want. In fact, if you look on YouTube, you're going to find a ton of different strategies that people use for this. It's a very flexible tool. And in another video, I'm going to show you how to use bullet journal, which is kind of a hard copy way using an actual journal, a notebook, and a pen to do similar things. But Trello is pretty cool, so here we go. What you're going to want to do is create a new board. Okay, so this is method number one, we'll call it. You're going to create a new board, and you're going to call it master. All right, so that's what I've done right here. Now, these things are called boards. I've got 3 of them, so they're kind of like bulletin boards, and I've got multiple bulletin boards. So I'm going to click on the master one that I created before, and you can see I've created 3 of these gray things, which are called lists, and you can create one by just clicking on add a list, and then it'll ask you to give it a name. Now what I've done is I've made 3 lists on this board. So this is my board that's called master, my master board, and I've got 3 lists. I've got one for project block, one for advisory, one for book teams. Now if you wanted, you could create one for LTI, for example. That would probably be a good idea. So let's do that. This is my LTI. Maybe you don't have an LTI yet, but we'll get to that as well. So under project block, here's how I'm going to work this. So this list, this gray thing right here is called a list. And you can think of it as a to-do list. So I'm going to make a to-do list on this. So let's say right now in my project block I'm working on a wind farm, like some of you are. So I'm going to put wind farm up here, and I'm going to give it a due date. So when is this due? Right now it says it's due January 10th at 12 p.m. Now to give it a due date, just click this little thing right here. It says due date. Actually, it says that I've already finished it here. So if I hadn't finished it, it would be showing up as red because it's past due. All right, let's uncheck that. So I've got wind farm. Now in order to use this as a to-do list, there's 2 ways to do it. I think the best way is to put the individual steps that you need to complete in as what we call cards. So you can see here I've already made 3 cards. Wind farm is a card. That's the overall project. So maybe the overall project is due January 10th. Or let's change that now because that's past due. Let's say it's due this Friday. Oh, not this Friday. This Friday, which is, whoa, boy, I set this up a while ago. All right. So let's say it's due February 3rd, this Friday. Then I've got different things I got to do. So I got to build a turbine. I'm going to put that first here. Test the turbine. Figure out how many volts I need. What does that mean? So let's say I'm going to try to use this wind farm to power a light bulb. All right. So actually, that's probably maybe that's the first thing I want to do. How many volts I need to power a light bulb. All right. So, but I'll do that. Good morning. So I will do that on, I'll do that after. So I'll build the turbine, I'll test the turbine, then I'm going to figure out how many volts I need. Then what do I need to do? Well, I need to figure out how many turbines I need to power the bulb. All right. Then I'm going to have to build the turbines, however many I need. Maybe I need 10 of them, who knows. And then I'm going to hook them up in series and test them. All right, and then troubleshoot if necessary. Okay, troubleshoot if necessary. Now maybe I'm going to add some more steps here too, but now I have a to-do list. All right. Now a good idea would be to put a due date on all of these, right? So maybe I'm going to build the turbine today. All right. I'm going to test the turbine today. And I'm going to figure out how many volts I need today. You know what? That's probably all I'm going to get done today, which means there's no way I'm going to build all those other turbines by February 3rd. So let's say I'm going to continue this project next week when I'm going to figure out how many turbines I need, and I'm going to start building the turbines. But I think the turbines are going to take me a while. So let's say I'll finish those on the 8th, and then maybe even the following week. So this is going to pull me into the following week. Well, let's be optimistic about this. Well, no, I probably should say the 13th. So I'm going to say that I'm going to be finishing this on the 13th. All right. So, and then troubleshoot if necessary, we'll take care of that. So that means I'm going to go up to here, and I'm going to change this to the 13th now, because there's no way I'm going to finish that by this Friday. See that? So I've got deadlines for all these things. Now, here's a cool thing. I've got this calendar here, right? So if I click on that, I can see these. Now, I think I'm seeing the count, so I see these due dates right on my calendar. I'm seeing the calendar because I previously set it up. I think what you're going to need to go do is go into this thing over here. Oh no, know what it is when you first set up the due date, you will see, when you click on the due date, you'll see a thing that says enable calendar. Okay, right here. Because otherwise, before you do that, so when you set up a due date, you'll say enable calendar, and you'll click that, and then it'll give you this little calendar icon up here. All right. Now I can do the same thing. What I just did for Project Block, I can do the same thing for advisory, for book teams, whatever. So maybe you're working on your iSearch, right? And maybe you want to, maybe you got to do part 1 of your iSearch, whatever. Maybe this is your T2 PRP, which is due very soon. Maybe this is gallery night. Gallery night, trifold layout. So, and then again, you can put steps in here, and you can put due dates on these. Isn't that awesome? Now, here's the thing. You're going to get chips. You're going to get reward chips every time you check off one of these boxes for Project Block. So just show me that at the end of Project Block. Show me which ones you've checked off, and you will get you'll get chips for that, and it'll add up to our field trips. So go at it. Now, this is a little mini lesson, and here's what you're going to do today. So I want you to after you watch this video, I want you to set up your master board with at least one list, say for Project Block, preferably more than one, and set up your first project in Project Block. Maybe this is a canned project that you're working on, like the terrarium project or something like that. You can still do it. Put these in here. So for whatever project you're going to be doing next, set those up, and you'll get credit for that. Okay? Have at it. Now, I do want to show you the other way of setting up these lists. That is, instead of making a master board, so when you say create new board, instead of making it master, you can call it something specific like independent projects or advisory or Project Block or whatever. So for example, I can say Project Block. So notice what I'm doing now. Now I have a board. Instead of the board being called master, it's just called Project Block. So it's specific board to Project Block. So what I'm going to do is add a list. Now instead of calling this list Project Block, I'm going to name the list after a specific project. Wind farm, for example. All right. Now that my list is just for a specific project, now my cards will be, they can still be the steps of the project, for example. So I can say, build the first turbine. All right, and then give this a due date. All right, just like that. Now, so that's another way to do it. I can put those in there. There's actually a third way to use Trello within this kind of system here. So once I do project block here, I can, instead of calling this wind farm, I can do this. I can set these up. Instead of calling the lists, naming the list after projects, I can name one to do, one doing, and the last one done. And this is pretty cool. This is a method that you'll see on YouTube if you check it out. A lot of people will do this. Build the first turbine, test voltage of turbine, figure out voltage needed, and figure out how many turbines I need, build that many turbines. Now here's the deal, and I can put due dates on any of these. Like maybe this one has a due date of today, and then once I do it, once I'm doing it, so let's say we're in project block right now, I'll move this over to doing. I'll say this is what I'm working on right now, and once it's done, I'll move it over to here. See that? So that's another way to use this, to do, doing, done. So there's a number of ways you can set this up. And for today's assignment, you can set your boards up however you want. But again, I'm going to be looking for you to complete things and check them off in order to get chips in the future. But for today, all you need to do is set this up, and I'd like to see you setting up a board using one of these methods. All right, again, that's either setting up a master board, which has project block advisory, book teams, and LTI in it, or setting up an individual board for independent projects and then putting to do, doing, done. You could also make a master board with just to do, doing, done. That would work as well. And then in that case, so if this was a master board and it said to do, doing, done, then what would happen is I would have cards for different projects. So maybe wind farm project. This might be iSearch. The next card might be find an LTI and so forth, and then I would move them across. Whatever you think works for you. In my mind, that would be a little confusing because I'd have too much going on in here at one time, and I wouldn't be able to organize it in my mind. But that's up to you. All right, so there we go. 13 minutes into the video, we're all set. I want you to set up one board like I showed you, and you can get your chips for that. Good luck.